what's up you guys? This is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today on my adventures with playtesting, we are taking a close look at elemental modding in the Void. Now, I'm not going to point any fingers, but I think we've all seen a lot of builds floating around the interwebs that tell us that Corrosive and Fire is the best combination to take on the big baddies in the Void. But after a lengthy conversation with one of our fellow PC men, I knew I had to get to playtesting. Seriously though, it was like midnight, and it was so juicy that I had to get on top of it. So for those of you who are newer to the channel, ages ago I released a video on viral damage, and concluded that when it comes to armored enemies, elements that dealt bonus damage to flesh will deal less damage than elements that applied their bonus damage to armor. So why the fuck are we being told to use fire? So I decided to pit a 90% fire elemental mod up against a 60% elemental status mod that would strengthen corrosive. I guess we'll call this one Void Elemental Mods Debunked. So just to clarify, what we're doing here is adding a 90% fire elemental mod to the standard corrosive build, and pitting that against a 60% elemental status mod added to the same build. As we know, corrosive is composed of an electric and a toxin mod, so adding either the electric mod from the Tethra set or the toxin mod from the Cicero set, which can also be farmed off of Captain Vor in the T4 Void missions. So I don't want to hear any crybabies talking about the fact that they can't do this because they missed the event. Oh yes you can! As we know, the threats we mod for in the Void are usually Corrupted Ancients and the Corrupted Heavy Gunners. However, since Corrupted Ancients have no weaknesses to fire, but are weak against corrosive, we can tell straight off the bat that the Strengthened Corrosive build will be the more punishing of the two. So, we're going to focus on Heavy Gunners, which have both weaknesses. So, upon doing the rough math on these two builds, we can clearly see that fire comes out on top. However, the one thing that this doesn't take into account is how each will be mitigated, because let's face it, those fuckers have a lot of armor. So this is the fire build that I'll be using with the Latron Wraith. Note that this is a very sparse build that is not optimized. I just didn't want to add anything else that might interfere with getting raw damage numbers out. Here's the corrosive build. Just note that you can use either electric or toxin elemental status mods. Either way, it'll apply the same amount of corrosive damage. Now, let's get to the juicy bit. So when testing against a level 31 corrupted heavy gunner, the fire did 334 points of damage on a body shot. Now the strengthened corrosive dealt 378 on that same body segment. Against level 32s, fire dealt 326, while strengthened corrosive dealt 370. Now unfortunately, this is where RNGesus starts failing me because the levels began to vary. But against a level 35, the fire build did 304 points of damage, while on a level 36, the strengthened corrosive did 339. Now that's everything that happened before the corrosive element was applied. But as you can see here, after their armor had been debuffed on a level 32 gunner, the fire build did 379 points of damage, while the strengthened corrosive dealt 426. So I think it's pretty safe to say that strengthened corrosive wins the bout. But before I close things out, there are a few things to note. Number 1. While the strengthened corrosive build does feature more damage, it also has a status boost, which will allow you to proc statuses more often, and due to the fact that the fire element is no longer a factor, you'll have a larger chance to proc the corrosive armor reduction. Number 2, also note that these damage numbers were pretty raw. While the numbers didn't seem like they were all too different, as you saw by the build, I kept it very simple. As you add in things like heavy caliber and crit mods, the gap between the two damage numbers will increase. In fact, I aimed for body shots, so think of the gap between the two when you score a headshot, or the damage loss you'd experience with high fire rate weapons. So, I guess what it all boils down to is, don't trust everything you see on the internet. It doesn't matter how popular a build is rated, or what's said on the forums, or how many subscribers a YouTuber has. Behind those builds is just another human being, and if they haven't playtested it first, it might not be the correct information. So regardless of whether they claim it's the most high damage build, or the top DPS build, or if they market themselves as a professional builder, unless they've got the footage and numbers to prove it, it's best to get down and dirty and playtest it yourself. So thank you all for watching another episode of Debunked, I guess. Be sure to catch the previous episode, as well as the video I did on the viral element that started it all. Don't forget to do the thing that I asked you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned for more juicy and hard-hitting info here at A Gay Guy Plays. See, this is what happens when you run an exterminate and only kill the gunners. You run into shit like this.